Good morning. Welcome to TPSC Aspirants. We are back with another edition of Weekly News at a Glance, a program where you get comprehensive coverage of all the important events that happened throughout the week. But before starting today's video, I'd like to convey our heartfelt gratitude to our subscribers. It has been 3 months that we started this channel with an aim to help our fellow aspirants. And by God's grace, we have achieved our first milestone of 100 subscribers. So thank you from the bottom of our heart. Keep supporting us like this and help us grow. And if you are new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe our channel. You can also check out our other initiatives like the previous solutions series of TPSC combined exam. We made a separate playlist for that. You can check it out. So now, without any further delay, let's start our revision. So the biggest news of this week was the cabinet reshuffle of Modi government 2.0. On 7th July, Prime Minister Narendra Modi reshuffled his cabinet. So some highlights of this reshuffle are: a total of 43 MPs took oath as ministers in the Rashtrapati Bhavan on 7th July. That included Sarvanand Sonowal, Jyotiraditya Scindia, Meenakshi Lekhi and Pratima Bhomik among others. With this reshuffle, the tally of numbers of ministers in Union Council of Ministers rose to 86, including the PM. In this reshuffle, 7 Minister of States were promoted to cabinet rank, including Anurag Thakur, G. Kishan Reddy, Purushottam Rupala, Kiran Rijiju, Hardeep Singh Puri, Mansukh Mandaviya and Rajkumar Singh. The inclusion of ministers and leaders from various Northeast Indian states is the most exciting aspect of this cabinet expansion. Former Chief Minister of Assam, Sarbanand Sonowal, has been appointed as the Minister of Ayush and Ministry of Shipping, Ports and Waterways. Arunachal Pradesh MP Kiran Rijiju, who was earlier the Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports, is now India's new Minister of Law and Justice. Pratima Bhomik, a first-time MP from Tripura, has been appointed as Minister of State in the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. She is also the first Tripura resident to be inducted in a central ministry. Rameshwar Teli of Assam is Minister of State in the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas and Ministry of Labour and Employment. Dr. Rajkumar Ranjan Singh from Manipur is Minister of State in the Ministry of External Affairs and Ministry of Education. In the new cabinet rejig, a new Ministry of Cooperation has been created by Government of India. It has been created with an aim to provide a separate administrative, legal and policy framework for strengthening the cooperative movement in India. The new ministry has been carved out from the Department of Agriculture, Cooperation and Farmers' Welfare. The ministry will be headed by Amit Shah, who is also our Minister of Home Affairs. The new process will help in realizing the government's vision of Sahakar se Samriddhi and will work to streamline process for ease of doing business for cooperatives and enable development of multi-state cooperatives. So these are the names of some of the important ministers and their respective ministries. So our new education minister is Shri Dharmendra Pradhan. He has replaced Shri Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank. Our new railways minister is Shri Ashwini Vaishnav. He replaced Shri Piyush Goyal. He is also the new minister for communication and electronics and IT. He replaced Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad. Our new health and chemical and fertilizer is Shri Mansukh Mandaviya. He has replaced Dr. Harshvardhan. Our new INB and Sports Minister is Shri Anurag Thakur. Our new Civil Aviation Minister is Shri Jyotiraditya Scindia. The new MSME Minister is Shri Narayan Taturani. Minister of Culture and Tourism and also the Minister of M. Donor is Shri G. Kishan Reddy. Our new Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Trading Minister is Shri Purushottam Rupala. Our new Environment, Forest and Climate Change Minister is Shri Bhupendra Yadav. Shri Hardeep Singh Puri, who was earlier the Minister for Civil Aviation, has been appointed as the Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister. With the cabinet reshuffle also came the appointment of new governors for 8 states. So the President of India, Shri Ramnath Kovind, appointed 8 new governors for 8 states. These are the names. For Goa, the new governor is P.S. Sridharan Pillai. Tripura also got a new governor who is Shri Satyadev Narayan Arya. And the living governor of Tripura, Shri Ramesh Bais, has been appointed as the governor of Jharkhand. Thawar Chand Gehlot, who was earlier an union minister, has been appointed as the governor of Karnataka. Shri Bandaru Dattatreya is the new governor of Haryana. Mizoram new governor is Dr. Haribabu Kambhapanti. Himachal Pradesh new governor is Shri Rajendra Vishwanath Arlekar. And the Madhya Pradesh new governor is Shri Mangubhai Chhaganbhai Patel. So according to Article 159 of our Constitution, the Chief Justice of the concerned state High Court administers the oath of office to the governor of the state. Prime Minister Narendra Modi virtually addressed the CoWIN Global Conclave 2021. The conclave was jointly organized by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and Ministry of External Affairs and National Health Authority. India is set to offer CoWIN, originally developed by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare for the purpose of registration, appointment and monitoring of the vaccination process against COVID-19 as a digital public good to the world to combat COVID-19. For this process, an open source version of the vaccine registration platform will be shared by India for free. Around 50 countries including Canada, Mexico, Nigeria, etc. have expressed interest in adopting the CoWIN platform. Indrajal, India's first indigenous drone defense dome, which is a comprehensive three-dimensional geographic information system-based display system for command, control, communication, computers, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance and targeting, has been developed by Green Robotics, which is a Telangana-based company. This defense system is an autonomous weapon composed of 9 to 10 technologies such as artificial intelligence, cybersecurity and robotics to identify and counter threats. It is believed to provide 24/7 protection to a large city of 1,000 to 2,000 square kilometer against threats such as UAVs, missiles, etc. It also provides real-time situation updates. National Payments Corporation of India, in collaboration with CBSE, has launched the Financial Literacy Textbook for Class 6 students to make children aware of basic financial concepts. The book includes basic concepts of currency to banking, security, and modes of digital payments such as UPI, cards, wallets, etc. It also elaborates the role of Unique Identification Authority of India and the importance of Aadhaar-enabled payment system. Atal Innovation Mission concluded its first fintech cohort of AIM iLeap. It is an initiative for startups to provide them access to industry, markets and investors, thereby enhancing the innovation ecosystem. Khadi and Village Industries Commission has initiated Project Bold, that is, Bamboo Oasis on Lands in Drought, a first of its kind exercise in India from the tribal village of Nichla Manwa in Udaipur, Rajasthan. It is launched as a part of KVIC's Khadi Bamboo Festival to celebrate 75 years of independence of India. Under this exercise, 5,000 saplings of special bamboo species with Bambusa tulla and Bambusa polymorpha, specially brought from Assam, have been planted at approx 16 acres of vacant arid Gram Panchayat land. It is a scientific process of reducing desertification and will be extended to other states like Gujarat and UT of Ladakh in August. The ex-Minister of Education, that is Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank, launched Nipun Bharat program. He launched it virtually. Nipun Bharat, that is National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy, has been launched with an aim to ensure that every child in India attains foundational literacy and numeracy by the end of grade 3 by 2026-2027. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change approves Ramgarh Birsdhari Sanctuary as 4th Tiger Reserve of Rajasthan. Ramgarh Birsdhari Sanctuary in Bundi, Rajasthan has been sanctioned as the 4th Tiger Reserve of Rajasthan and the 52nd Tiger Reserve of India by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. The other 3 tiger reserves in Rajasthan are Ranthambore, Sariska and Mukundra. Jammu Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha has rolled out Lieutenant Governor's Sustainable Development Fellowship for graduates. The aim of this fellowship is to provide opportunity for young professionals in supporting improvement in government programs and services by making them more efficient and transparent. As of now, the tenure of the fellowship is 2 years and there will be a stipend of Rs 60,000 per month. Indian Oil Corporation Limited becomes India's first public sector refinery to procure crude oil from Guyana. This crude oil, which will be procured, will be refined in IOC's Paradip refinery at Odisha. IOC has also entered into a contract to procure 3 million tons of US crude oil. India is the world's 3rd largest consumer and importer of crude oil. The National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, that is NABARD, has sanctioned a financial assistance of Rs 388 crore under the Rural Infrastructure Development Fund for Odisha to set up 4 mega piped drinking water supply projects and 20 rural road projects across 15 districts of the state. NABARD has also sanctioned a loan worth of Rs 2,891.15 lakh under RIDF to the government of Goa for the construction of phase 2 building of Goa Dental College and Hospital in Bimboli. India's 2nd largest and world's 3rd largest cricket stadium is set to be constructed in Jaipur, Rajasthan with an estimated cost of 290 crore INR. The stadium will have a seating capacity of 75,000. The world's largest cricket stadium is Narendra Modi Stadium at Motera, Ahmedabad, Gujarat, with a capacity of 132,000. And the world's 2nd largest cricket stadium is Melbourne Cricket Ground, situated in Melbourne, Australia. Former Union Minister for Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairy, Giriraj Singh, had launched an online course mobile app, Matsya Setu, to spread latest freshwater aquaculture technologies to aqua farmers of India on 6 July. The app has been developed by ICAR and CIFA with funding support from the National Fisheries Development Board, Hyderabad. The objective of this is to educate the fish farmers in India about the latest freshwater aquaculture technologies. The Ministry of Tourism has signed a memorandum of understanding with Yatra, which is an Indian travel agency, to strengthen the hospitality and tourism industry of India. Jammu and Kashmir tops in implementing Nishtha program. Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir has trained 80,000 elementary school teachers through online mode using Diksha portal, leading it as India's top performer under National Initiative for School Heads and Teachers Holistic Environment Advancement Portal. Nishtha is the world's largest teacher training program that was launched under the Samagra Shiksha scheme in 2019-20, which aims to provide an integrated teacher training program for improving the quality of school education. On July 7, 2021, the National Institute of Biomedical Genomics, located in Kalyani, West Bengal, has created world's first of its kind browsable online database, namely DB Zenvoc, database of genomic variants of oral cancer. This is a repository that can be accessed by the public at free of cost. It will be updated annually with variation data from new oral cancer patients from different regions of India and Southeast Asia. Indian Overseas Bank has become the second most valued listed public sector bank of India with a market capitalization of over rupees 50,000 crore by surpassing Punjab National Bank and Bank of Baroda. SBI General Insurance has launched a health insurance plan named Arogya Supreme. The features of this plan are: under this policy, the insured person will get a wide range of sum insured options up to rupees 5 crore for their medically necessary hospitalization due to illness or accident that occur during the policy period. Customers will have a facility to choose the policy tenure ranging from 1 to 3 years. The age limit to avail this plan is from 18 years to 65 years. And for child, it is from 91 days to 25 years. Axis Bank inks MOU with Indian Army offering service salary package under its Power Salute initiative. Under the package, a personal accidental cover of up to rupees 56 lakh will be provided to all army personnel. An education grant of rupees 8 lakh will be available to army personnel. A total permanent disability cover benefit of up to 46 lakh and permanent partial disability cover of up to 46 lakh will also be available under the scheme. Max Bupa tie-up with Axis Bank to offer health insurance. On July 7th, Axis Bank, the country's third largest private sector bank, entered into a bank insurance partnership with Max Bupa Health Insurance to provide comprehensive health insurance solution to its customers and employees. Under the partnership, Max Bupa will offer indemnity as well as fixed benefit products and their customizable variants to the bank's customers across the country. RBI has imposed a monetary penalty of Rs 25 lakh on the Punjab and Sindh Bank for non-compliance with certain provisions related to the directions on cybersecurity framework in banks. RBI has also imposed a Rs 1 lakh penalty on the Nagar Sahakari Bank Limited, an urban cooperative bank of Uttar Pradesh, for infringement of certain regulations such as income recognition, asset classification, etc. PayU, an online payment solutions provider, partnered with WooCommerce, an open source customizable e-commerce platform to enable the WooCommerce merchants with the digital payments infrastructure. Its objective is to accelerate the digitization of small and medium-sized business. PhonePe, the digital payments platform, has partnered with Flipkart, the e-commerce major, and launched a contactless scan and pay feature to digitize Flipkart's cash on delivery orders payment. FlexiLoans partners with Google Pay to provide digital loans to SMEs. FlexiLoans.com, a MSME-focused digital lending platform, collaborated with Google Pay to offer digital and feasible loans to small and medium-sized enterprises. Paytm, in partnership with Aditya Birla Finance Limited, launched a small-ticket instant loan service named Postpaid Mini. It was launched on 5th July. Under this, the user could get access to loans ranging from Rs 250 to Rs 1000, along with Paytm Postpaid's instant credit of up to Rs 60,000. Paytm provides a 30 days repayment period for the loans at 0% interest and has a minimal convenience fee with no annual fees or activation charges. Bajaj Allianz tie up with Bank of India for distribution of insurance products. Bajaj Allianz General Insurance and Bank of India have entered into a corporate agency agreement for distribution of Bajaj Allianz insurance product through the Bank of India's vast network across the country. Under the agreement, Bajaj will offer a number of personal as well as commercial lines of products such as motor insurance, health insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, etc. to the bank's customers. HDFC launched Salam Dil Se initiative to acknowledge service of doctors. Under this initiative, a web portal has been created by the bank by the name www.salamdilse.com, where the general public can log in and share their thank you message for the doctors. Advertising Standards Council of India and Food Safety and Standards Authority of India have signed an agreement to protect consumers from misleading claims in food and beverage advertisement. As part of the deal, ASCI will identify advertisements that violate provisions of Food Safety and Standards Regulations 2018, and FSSAI will investigate the cases. DMRC launched India's first UPI-based cashless parking at Kashmiri Gate Metro Station, Delhi. It is India's first FASTag or UPI-based cashless parking facility. India to have 24 integrated checkposts on land border by 2025. IndusInd Bank partnered with TP Central Odisha Distribution Limited, a joint venture of Tata Power and the government of Odisha, to introduce a fully digital network to enable digital payment of electricity bills across 300 semi-urban and rural regions of Odisha. Goa to host 52nd IFFI from 28th to 28th November 2021. This was informed by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. 2021 is the 100th birth anniversary of India's legendary filmmaker Satyajit Ray. On this occasion, a new award, Satyajit Ray Lifetime Achievement Award for Excellence in Cinema, will be instituted annually. Fitch Ratings, the global credit rating agency, in its report named Indian Bank's 2021 Report Card, has reduced India's GDP growth forecast for financial year 2022 to 10% from its earlier estimation of 12.8% due to the slowing recovery after the second wave of COVID-19. Israeli defense major Rafale Advanced Defense Systems Limited unveiled an all-weather missile Seabreaker. It is a fifth-generation, long-range, autonomous, precision-guided missile system to address an operational gap in maritime and artillery strike system through a single platform. This weapon can be fired from both sea and surface with standoff ranges of up to 300 km. China National Space Administration has launched a new meteorological satellite, Penguin 3E, aboard a Long March 4C carrier record rocket from Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center in China. It is also called the Dawn satellite. FY3E is the world's first meteorological satellite for civil service in a dawn-dusk orbit. The satellite is equipped with 11 advanced remote sensing payloads and has a lifespan of 8 years. It can obtain data about temperature, humidity, other parameters, and will help in improving China's weather forecast capabilities. Korean Year of South Korea has been selected as the 2021 Airline of the Year by Air Transport World. This award is recognized as the Oscar in the aviation industry. Transforming global agriculture and food security in a way more appealing to the younger population will be the key to secure the future of global food and nutrition security, as per the report released by Committee on World Food Security. The report, titled Promoting Youth Engagement and Employment in Agriculture and Food System, was prepared by CFS high-level panel of experts on food security and nutrition. Stefan Löfven of the Swedish Social Democratic Party has been re-elected as Prime Minister by the Swedish Parliament. Indian cricketer Mithali Raj becomes leading scorer in all forms of women's international cricket. Mithali Raj, aged 38, became the leading scorer in women's international cricket in all three formats by overtaking former England's batter Charlotte Edwards-Telly of 10,273 runs during the third and final ODI between England and India. Mithali Raj has scored a total of 10,277 runs in 317 matches. She is the only Indian cricketer and second international cricketer to score more than 10,000 runs in women's cricket. Mithali Raj has topped the ICC ODI women's batting rankings for the 8th time. She has represented India in more than 200 ODI and has scored 6,974 runs. She also holds the record of the most runs in women's ODIs. India finished 10th at the ISSF World Cup 2021 held at Croatia by bagging 4 medals. In the said event, India's Rahi Sarnobat won gold in women's 25-meter pistol, while Saurav Chaudhary won bronze at men's 10-meter air pistol. In mixed team, Manu Bhaker and Saurav Chaudhary won silver, while in women's team event, Manu Bhaker, Rahi Sarnobat and Yashasvi Deswal won bronze. 16 years old Nihal Sareen from Kerala has won the Silver Lake Open Chess Tournament held in Serbia. Indian Grandmaster Harika Dronawali has finished second in the Women's Speed Chess Championship finals after losing to China's Hu Yifan, the current world number 1 player. Indian Navy's athlete MP Zabir will be first Indian male athlete to participate in the 400-meter hurdles in Olympics. He qualified for the event after clocking 49.78 seconds to win gold at the Interstate Athletics Championships held at Punjab. Mountain biker Kanchan Ugrasandi completed the world's first solo motorcycle expedition, crossing 18 passes in the Himalayas, covering a total distance of 3,187 kilometers. She is also the first woman biker to cover the 18 passes. Her expedition was flagged off by Defence Minister Shri Rajnath Singh on 11 June from New Delhi on a move to promote COVID safety awareness in border areas. Asian Football Confederation has changed the host cities of 2022's Women's Asia Cup tournament from the previously selected Bhubaneswar and Ahmedabad to newer venues at Mumbai and Pune, both from Maharashtra. It has been done to minimize the travel time and to enable better management of biobubble. On July 4, 2021, Uttarakhand got its youngest CM. Sri Pushkar Singh Dhami, aged 45, sworn in as the 11th CM of Uttarakhand along with 11 cabinet ministers. His oath of office was administered by the governor of the state, Baby Rani Maurya. R.K. Savarwal, Chairman and MD of Engineers India Limited, has been awarded with the highest civilian award of Mongolia, the Order of Polar Star, for his contribution towards the construction of Mongolia's first ever oil refinery. The oil refinery is constructed by the Mongolian government using the $1 billion line of credit provided by PM Narendra Modi during his visit to Mongolia in 2019. Indian economist Kaushik Basu has been honored with the Humboldt Research Award 2021 for economics by the Alexander von Humboldt Foundation, based in Germany. Government of India has amended the Life Insurance Corporation of India Regulations 1960 to extend the superannuation age of LIC chairman to 62 years from the present 60 years. It has been done in view of the ongoing preparation for the IPO. Bollywood's tragedy king, Sri Dilip Kumar, passed away at the age of 98. Dilip Kumar has been starred in more than 65 films, including Devdas, Mughal-e-Azam, Ganga Jamuna, etc. He was the inaugural recipient of the Filmfare Best Actor Award for his film Daag. He was also honored with Padma Bhushan in 1991 and Padma Vibhushan in 2015 by the Government of India. In 1994, he won the Dadasaheb Phalke Award for his cinematic excellence. Famous director of blockbuster Hollywood movie, Mr. Richard Donner, passed away at the age of 91. Former CM of Himachal Pradesh and Congress leader Veerbhadra Singh passed away in Shimla, Himachal Pradesh. He had served as the CM of Himachal Pradesh for 6 times between 1983 to 2017. Olympic gold medalist Keshav Datta passed away on 7 July at the age of 95. He was part of the 1948 London Olympics gold medal winning Indian hockey team and later was vice captain of Indian team that won gold in 1952 Helsinki Olympics. Jovenel Moïse, President of the Republic of Haiti, was assassinated on 7 July at his private residence in Haiti. The book Lady Doctors, The Untold Stories of India's First Women in Medicine, authored by Kavita Rao, contains stories of India's first women doctors which are ignored by history. They are Anandibai Joshi, Rukmabai Raut, Kadambini Ganguly, Hoimabati Sen, and Chennai's Muthu Lakshmi Reddy, who founded the Adyar Cancer Hospital. Kaushik Basu authored a new book titled Policymakers Journal, From New Delhi to Washington, D.C. This book features the journal records of his career of 7 years, during which he served as the Chief Economic Advisor to the Indian government and the Chief Economist at the World Bank in Washington, D.C. July 6th is celebrated as World Zoonosis Day every year. The theme for 2021 was Let's Break the Chain of Zoonotic Transmission. This day is observed annually across the globe to create awareness about the zoonosis or zoonotic disease, a disease or infection transmitted from vertebrate animals to humans. This day also commemorates the first vaccination administered against zoonotic disease. So that's all for this week. If you like our initiative, please don't forget to hit that like button and share it with your friends. Your like and kind comments inspire us to work more. So see you in the next session. Till then, take care. Have a nice day.